Welcome to the Greatness Together podcast. Curious minds unite. Mother-daughter conversations that delve into the heart of psychology. Thanks for joining us. Simonne, this is our first in-person podcast in quite a while. I want to say in almost a year.
I thought you were gonna say something. I'm gonna say a statement, or you're just
that was the end of my statement.
I was waiting for something big. Okay,
that was big.
That's right.
What do you mean that wasn't big?
No, this is probably groundbreaking. This is gonna hit TMZ, TYZ,
Tunes, ABC
News, CBC,
NBC, 1, 2,
Do Re Mi,
Do Re Mi News. And
we're here.
And when we are here, ABC News podcast, aka the Greatness Together podcast, you have again rocked my world.
Every day. Come on.
Every day, even from the other side, on the other side of the ocean, you make me, you're so wise. In fact, one of the last messages you WhatsApped me was a Spanish phrase, and I said like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And then there was probably like a bit of a my mom is so extra moment, like what's
probably.
a big deal?
yeah.
What was the phrase? Do you remember?
Yeah. So when I was in Finland, my closest girls were all Spanish from Spain. Shout out them. Love you, Spanish girls. There's too many to name.
Yeah.
But I think
particularly Susanna
and Paula / Petu would probably be listening.
Yeah, my Spanish surrogate daughters.
Yeah. They've said it a couple times to me, and it also stuck. And the saying, it goes, mirando nada, pensando todo, or something.
Say it again. It's beautiful. I want to just hear it and let your Spanishness wash over me.
Mirando nada, pensando a todo, or maybe it's mirando la nada, pensando a todo. Anyways,
beautiful.
It translates to looking at nothing, thinking of everything.
I love that so much. And you said to me that you had been doing that a lot. You went to a lot of different places. You've been to 26 countries now in your 21 elderly years. As an older, wise person, 26 different places.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest questions we have for ourselves, like as people, like knowing that time isn't manageable, is like, how can you take in your present moment? People are like, oh, how can I take advantage of this? Like, oh, I wish I could just stop the clocks. And so that's something I'm always trying to do myself, like knowing all the places I've been, knowing all the people I've been around. Yes, you could take a photo or something, but it doesn't feel the same as like being in the present moment. And
in fact, you might be less likely to be in the present moment.
Exactly.
If you're always trying to capture it for the future.
Yeah, no, it's true. And yeah, it's something that I still wonder about, and I'm still trying to figure out. But I think for me, being in the present moment, yeah, just means sitting or standing where I am, looking around at my surroundings. Even it means if I look like a crazy person looking at nothing. Like literally on my last day in Portugal, right before I came home, after being away for months. Yeah, it was my last day. I was in Portugal. I was literally just sitting on this pier. I was sitting on a rock, looking at the water for, I kid you not, 2 hours. There wasn't music in my ears. There wasn't a show on my phone. There wasn't a person to text back. Well, I mean, there's a probably you were to text back. But like I was just looking at nothing, thinking of everything. And I think that's something very important to do, and something that isn't very normal to us North Americans. Like, it's always just go, go, go. Like, if you're traveling, it's like site to site to site, and next, next, next. But it's really important for us to just sit, look at nothing, think of everything, reflect, and take in the present moment. And
I think that's why the phrase stuck with me so much, because I went, yeah, that's so smart. It's so important. And yet we don't. And the fascinating thing is you went to so many different places, and you did, like, a lot of those places. When you went to Poland, you went to the concentration camps, you visited the town squares, you ate the beautiful food, but you also had those moments where you just stood in place and you took it all in. You went to Iceland. You're in a car, you were with all your girlfriends, you were driving all around, but then you'd stop, you'd plant yourself, and then you would fully take it in. So you can be both, have a very busy intensity and an action while also being incredibly present. And I can't help but wonder if in North America, we might have it reversed. We're so busy, but we're not fully present in our lives. And I'm not trying to diss us North Americans. We're all doing the best we can. I just simply mean we are a product of our environment and what we value in our society. And you have been sharing and experiencing firsthand through the people that you meet and you've been living with. You had a roommate who was from Cyprus. Your best girlfriends this latest trip were from Spain. You met people from all around the world. You've been different places, experiencing cultures. You can't help but have a perspective that starts to juxtapose our North Americanness with what you've been experiencing. There's a very different orientation, isn't there, in these other countries that, frankly, most of these countries we're talking about are higher on the World Happiness Index than we are.
Yeah, it's true. They value very different things, and a lot of that just revolves around just taking things one notch less. Which,
yeah,
or just slower in general. Like a lot of like cafes or restaurants I'd go to, like I'd be like, okay, it's been 15 minutes now, and in North America it would be on the plate in like 7.
Right.
And thinking about that, I'm like, how?
And in a paper bag, and not even eating it in there. It's like on to the next thing.
Yeah, but then you look at who's behind the counter, and it's like 2 people laughing and having fun and like actually socializing and caring about each other's lives. And it's like, okay, maybe I'll give you a little more, because this just isn't completely normal for me.
Right.
But like,
do you want fast and people are not enjoying their life? It's all about efficiency, transactional, or do you actually, is it additive to your life? Yes, it takes a bit longer, but you got a chance to witness positive interaction. You feel in this coffee shop a greater sense of calm. You get to enjoy a well-made cup of coffee that takes a little bit more time. And then you sit and you enjoy it in an environment where you can think about everything.
And look at nothing. It's true. And I think also a big reason for our fast-pacedness always goes back to or not fast-pacedness, but like lack of presence. Like, I hate to be the phone booer, but I will be. Like, you go to concerts, everybody is phone up. Like, we were speaking about this with Dad yesterday. He was mentioning how, like, Everybody's at their concert and filming and like looking at the screen of their phone instead of like the concert right in front of them. I know for myself, I used to do that a lot too, and I would never even look at the videos again. I'd maybe look at one, but in the moment I'm like, oh yeah, I really need to see this. And then you get home and you're like, I don't even remember what happened because you were too busy trying to make sure that you have all the right angles and everything. And yeah, I don't know, like it really...
Well, some of the best advice I got about my wedding day was to be fully present and take in everything so you can remember it. And of all the advice, and we had got a lot of unsolicited advice, and we only had 2 months of planning our wedding, so there's a limited quantity of time that people could give us unsolicited advice, but that far and away was the best advice.
Yeah, someone told me, like a couple once told me that the best piece of advice they got was to just escape the wedding for 25 minutes and just sit somewhere together. And still to this day, like that really allowed them to take it in and be in the present.
Yeah.
And they remembered most of their wedding in that moment.
As opposed to, you know, oh, I gotta go and say hello to that person, and then somebody starts to leave, and now you're like, oh, now I'm torn between saying thank you for coming and that person who's leaving, and the wedding's over and all you did was you danced one time with your new spouse. And you don't remember even seeing your best friend, or your grandfather was dancing to This Is How We Do It and you totally missed it, let alone got a chance to dance. It's I love that the advice that person said was it was in essence, think about everything in the day, think about everything this experience was for you, and do nothing in that moment with your new partner.
Yeah.
Beautiful advice.
I think it's so important to just do nothing in general. Like every day, give yourself a couple minutes to do nothing. I think we've spoken about this before, but like I am a religious, non-music, non-entertainment showerer. I am very passionate about shower thoughts because it's a quiet time with yourself where you could just reflect, and then you're like, oh, well, that just processed. I should have said that in the argument. And then you get all mad because you think, wow, I should have said that in the argument. Just kidding. No, I don't get into arguments.
Hey, maybe you're like, if you were calling people in the shower, you'd have your best material. But nope, that's where you're processing it.
Even on a walk. I like walks with music once in a while, but if you're coming from a busy day in the office, get that AirPod out of your ear.
Justin called me on that last week. Really? You know what he said?
What?
He goes, I always see you walking along the road and you're power walking. And he said, I bet you every time I drive by, I'll say, what's my mom learning about and listening right now?
Yeah, after you just read a book in the morning, spent all day working, probably read a book during your break, and then you get off work, you keep learning.
Well, I'm not actually learning. What I assured him is that I'm listening to a novel or a podcast.
Same thing. But
yeah, but I'm not paying attention to something.
Yeah. You're not disassociating.
Right.
It's important to just be with your thoughts once in a while.
It's true. And I do a better job of that now. Like there was a time where it was just go, busy. I can remember when I would commute to and from work, I'd be reading, listening to something, or I would be like talking to a friend or Nan and Grandpa, or, you know, I'd be like working on a list. I would voice dictate a list. Anyone who's watching the video, there was the world's largest ant that just walked across my path and I couldn't let it go. See, here's a perfect example. I can't just focus on our podcast. I had to do bug extermination at the same time. I could have just let that poor aunt just live his best life, walking across my desk, and I had to get it.
Of course not. You can't live in the moment.
I can't live in the
No
moment.
more moments for him.
And yet, there's nothing I would want more than to be in the moment with you. And that aunt just distracted me from it, and no, it wasn't the aunt's fault. It was letting myself get distracted. So that's maybe part of this whole thing. It's like being intentional, choosing to be dialed in, and maybe in advance saying, what doesn't get my attention? In the shower, you've got your rule. I also don't listen to anything in the shower.
No salsa?
No salsa.
No.
I might start dancing and slip.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to do
It's a safety measure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if I had non-slip shower floor, I still wouldn't do it.
That's good.
Probably for the same reason. Although I do take the world's fastest showers, so I don't know how much I would get taken care of. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take the advice of my adult children to have less stimulation coming in through my ears. I do, I've cooked a lot and done a lot of baking if I've got a really good book. Because I'm like, this is the perfect excuse to keep listening to my book. I'll just keep making something. Why would I make one batch of bread when I can make two? Because I get to keep listening to my book.
There you go.
So it becomes
if that's the case, I'll hook you up with more books.
Yeah, exactly.
The Little Red Riding. That's the only book I know.
No, that's not true, Simonne.
You're
I've
right.
seen the size of your textbooks.
Little Red Riding Hood and Wallace and Gromit.
A psychological deconstruction of Little Red Riding Hood and why she has a trauma bond with the wolf. That's the book you'd be reading for your psychology class.
That's the book you'd be reading just in general.
That does sound like a good book. I want to read that book now.
It kind of does sound kind of good.
It does sound kind of good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh, if we weren't so busy doing podcasts and trying to create some healthy boundaries of our listening and / also listening to books and bread making and traveling, we might actually be able to write that book.
Maybe.
Tune back in, listeners. Maybe we will have written that book.
2037.
2037. I do want to say that my hope is your generation, as much as you have access to ongoing stimulation, apps, your phone, live streaming, or you can watch 1 million movies at the touch of your fingers. Maybe you are also a generation who's able to say, enough is enough. I need to put everything to the side and just be quiet. I hope that for all of you.
That's a large hope.
It's a large hope. Because I know now that I have access to all of that, it's really, it is discipline for me to say, no. I am not doing any posting, checking, responding, reading. I don't watch anymore, though. That's what I've shared with you, is I've learned part of an unhealthy stimulation for me is watching movies and TV shows. However, I will say I do fill it with books. Listeners, if you could have seen the response, it was oh my gosh, mother. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Yeah. But, I mean, I was just giving some advice to somebody earlier who had asked for it about how to get present in your body. And I did a little voice recording of box breathing. And I walked them, it was about 8 minutes. I walked them through coming in and out of it. And I do that. I built that into a training session for a group of frontline care professionals last month. So I taught them all presence. If I'm feeling very stressed, I can notice that in my body and regulate it in my body. And I didn't know how to do that even 10 years ago. Even probably 5 years ago. But last decade, no, that was a big learning for me. So maybe that's my big hope for all of you as well, is that you have a greater awareness of your mind-body connection and listen to that.
So mind-body connection, and what are your other suggestions on how to be in the present?
Decide what's important and be fully present in it, and you don't need a reason why. Your wedding, you've gone to a new place, you just saw a sunset. Be fully present, because you will never get that moment again. And I think another hack could be, what will your future self wished that you had done right now? If your future self, and that future self could be you in your last hours of life, your future self could be you in an hour from now, what would your future self want you to have chosen now? And if your future self would not want you to choose scrolling your phone and would want you to choose watching that sunset, or would want you to choose taking your shoes off and walking in the grass and feeling the dew on your feet, do that. And don't overthink it. You don't need a reason. You don't need to justify your need to be present, because that is the gift of being human. That is why you have 5 senses, and you have a nervous system that, when it's dysregulated, will give you signals. This is why your body sometimes, that keeps the score, gives you a little flare up of something, like a little mini IBS moment, right? It's saying like, hey, you got to pay attention to something. It forces you to dial into your present. Pain, emotions, it will give you those signals. So listen. It's communicating a request. It's not being an annoyance. Listen and give yourself what you need in that moment.
Yeah, it's true. The body will always tell you when it needs something.
What additional advice would you give, Simonne?
Slowing down, for sure. I think if you're like overworking yourself, over scheduling yourself, even if you're traveling, I think it's way more worth it to spend a more thorough amount of time at like 4 sightseeing places than rushing around like 10. Like, you're just gonna get to the sightseeing place, take your picture, go to the next, take your picture, elbow people through the crowd to get there. But not speaking from experience.
No. You weren't the sharp elbow tourist. No, you saw that happen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It was times like that when I even had enough time to be in the present, where I'd get to the rocks on the pier in Portugal, and I sat down and I was able to do my breathing or whatever, because that's the other thing I was gonna say, like really being in tune with your body and making sure you're comfortable and aware, and also just like smiling whenever I'm like, this is a really cool place, I want to take it in. I just like I have a breath, I have a smile, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here and I'm present, and I try not to look too far into the future. I try not to look too far into the past, just simply being where you are. There was one more I was thinking. I mean, yeah, just like try not to be on your phone too much. Maybe take a picture, put it in your pocket, and then start your little thinking sesh.
Yeah. Like not have it within reach all the time, so that you don't maybe go, if it's hard to access, maybe you will be more in the moment. Put your phone in your backpack, which sits right here safely, like nobody's gonna be able to steal it. But if it's within reach or in your pocket, you're probably gonna pull it out and keep taking pictures of that sunset and then adjusting the light and different angles. And then are my toes in it? Instead, it's like, no, I'm just gonna put that right over there. I can see it, it's safe, and be in the moment here. I love how you just basically suggested a both end. You can take your picture and then you can put it away and be present. It's not like you're not saying to people, never capture your life. You don't have to make a sacrifice, a choice. Like, do I do this or do I do that? You can capture it so you remember it later and then put it to the side.
I've even heard people say, like, name 3 things you can see right now, 2 things you can touch, and 1 thing you can smell.
Yeah.
To be there. And
that's actually an anxiety reduction strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody's panicking, they ground you in your senses. What are 3 things you can see? What are two things you can, just any of your senses. I don't actually know the order. I'm curious now if there's a specific order of operations. What are the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Since we have 5 senses, I'm wondering if there's possibly 5 or if it's just 3. You had mentioned 3, so that might be the number. But it makes sense, right? Anxiety is your nervous system is dysregulated. So it makes sense from a cognitive behavioral therapy standpoint. How do you come back to this sense of calming your nervous system so that you can bring your frontal lobe back online and your limbic system isn't out of control? And it doesn't take long to get it back online. And your senses don't lie. Your senses ground you in the here and now, which is why when I have coaching clients who are really, really, really intense and they're spinning upwards, I breathe deep in. Like I want them to be able to mirror me. If I'm leaning in more and my eyes are getting bigger and my shoulders are hunched and I am more, like, it might like spiral them up. And I don't mean spirals in like catastrophic. I just simply mean part of my job as a coach is to be a grounding force so we can be that way for others as well as for ourselves.
For sure.
I love how your suggestion around smiling and taking a deep breath when you want to notice something. When you were saying that, I couldn't help but smile and take a deep breath. Even just hearing you say it, it's such a core human element. Smiling is an oxytocin release and an endorphin release. So yeah, we're hardwired for this. We think of presence as something we have to plan, do, build. It's actually more like a release, letting go of the things that stand in the way of your presence so that you can access what's already available to you.
True that.
Listeners, I just have to tell you, so I just decided to be very present. I put my hand on Simone's leg and I took a deep breath and she looked at me like, what is happening right now? So note, you can also freak people the heck out in your efforts to be very present and grounded. So Simonne,
I'm present enough.
Be present with me.
And smile.
Be present with me. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be present in our own spaces and not maul each other in the process. I appreciate you want to give our listeners that the phrase again?
Mirando a nada pensando. Mirando a nada pensando a todo.
Can you say it louder?
I'd love to.
I know you would love to.
But I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
That's okay, because probably all of our listeners speak English.
Mirando la nada, pensando a todo.
Yes. And on the heels of that, thank you for listening.
Gracias por escuchando.
Be well.
Ser bien.
Catch you again on the Greatness Together podcast.
Nos vemos.
Thanks so much for joining us for the Greatness Together podcast. Never miss an episode. Subscribe wherever you catch your podcasts. Yours in greatness, Simonne and Sarah.